Y'all, my hair is literally doing what it wants to. Okay, so 2019 was my my very first six-figure year. That was the August 2019 was my first 5-figure month. That was the very first month I made $10,000 in 1 month. And ultimately, the main thing that I can say about that year was that was the year, y'all, that I scaled back. The saints say niche down. I niched down. I went from being the type of cosmetologist that serviced all kind of people doing all kind of things to being the cosmetologist that specialized in locks. That's when the Lock Maven was officially born, and I got the trademark for it and all this amazing stuff. I started specializing in locks. Now, one of the biggest things, really is obedience. Like, I can't even hold you, y'all. Obedience was the key. Obedience was the thing. I remember the Lord saying that I need you to work less. And I'm trying to tell y'all, like, I'm like, now, Lord, I thought we were trying to get to these 6 figures, to these extra zeros and these extra commas. What do you mean? Work less. Like, but you can work less and make more. What it did by me, he told me to go down. And this is so important, y'all. I really want to emphasize the importance of tracking what's happening so that when, here it is. I really want to emphasize the importance of following the small instruction. Sometimes some of us, I'm very clear that not everybody thinks that they hear from the Lord. They have some questions, whatever the case may be. Some of us, we call it a knowing. Like, you just kind of know. You kind of get a sense. You kind of have this idea, or maybe you have dreams. Sometimes doing the small thing, for those of us who know the Lord and hear his voice, do the small thing. The Lord started telling me to track my income. Because some days I would be making a lot of money and I worked a little. Some days I'd work all day and made no money. So what I started doing was literally going through, and this is practical, okay? What I started doing was literally every day that I worked, I wrote down how much money I made. Every day. And I did it for like a month. I probably did it for more. I would encourage you to do it for like at least 90 days so that you can go through a quarter and see how this thing's supposed to work and how this thing flows. So that's what I did, right? And I wrote everything down, and I realized that Fridays and Thursdays was like money days. Because back then I was working 7 days a week. Crazy. I ain't gonna tell y'all about the time I had to end up going to the ER, because I used to go to the ER twice a year. In April around Easter or March, depending on when it fell, and in November around Thanksgiving. I would overwork myself to no extent, to no avail, to no end, till no whatever. It was team too much. But I worked too hard. So I had to write down what it is, how much money I made, and what I realized is the days that I did locks, those were the days that my income was the most. Because here's my formula. What do you do the fastest? You gotta find your sweet spot. What do you do the fastest with the least amount of effort that makes you the most money? Let's try it again. What do you do with the least amount of time, the least amount of effort, and makes you the most amount of money? For me, locks. And what is the most consistent? I can get locks done in an hour. That's my sweet spot. You can't always go off of what everybody else is doing. What is something that you flow in and you actually enjoy doing? I didn't enjoy doing all of these things. When I started cutting back my services and started emphasizing on locks, one, that made me an authority. People started knowing she does locks. This is the girl you need to go to. She's a licensed cosmetologist, and this is what she specializes in. When I chose a specialty, my money agreed with me. My money agreed with me. So 2019, we had to scale back. Had to cut a lot of stuff. And we had to tighten some stuff up. But that was the very first year that I hit 6 figures. And we ain't looked back since. Hello, hi humans. I am here to tell you about the Calm Kit, an amazing coloring book box. It has color pencils. It has fancy professional grade markers and fancy crayons. It has confession cards. It even has a candle. It's a mighty, mighty calm situation. Go to calmculture.com, code YouTube to get 15% off. Love you, mean it, bye. Back to the video. So 2020 Baby, listen. That is the year of 28K in 28 days. That was the year I bought my house. It is an amazing story of crazy. We all know what started in 2020. It was a wild whirlwind of a year for everybody. That year, though, it was crazy because did y'all see my dog? What? It was crazy because it was like I felt like the Lord was literally leading me to buy a home, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know, especially because at the top of the year, I couldn't get approved for what seems like a smaller house, for the less expensive house, and I got displaced again. End up living with a client. The miracles started happening. Okay, I got approved for way more than I thought that I could be approved for. And I was expecting a certain amount for the cash to close, like as far as what was in my mind. So I kept reaching out to the people like, hey, how much do I need for cash to close, blah, 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 for a down payment. And 28 days before I was set to close on the house, they called and said, you need $28,000. This is 28 days before I was supposed to close on the house. And I'm like, and they said, looking at your finances, your financial reports, you don't have that money. So what are you going to do? They said, your credit's not good enough. What else she say? No, you can't borrow the money. You can't borrow the money from anybody. No one can give you the money, and your credit isn't good enough for you to receive first-time home buyer benefits nor first-generation home buyer benefits. So what you gonna do? Now, I got big and talking real crazy to this lady on the phone. I'm talking about, ma'am, I own 3 businesses. Because at this time, I had launched the Lock Maven hair care line, because you need to have something that you sell to your clients that are already coming to you. Like, it's one thing to want to get new customers and new clients, but what are you doing with the ones that you already have? Is there something that you can add to your service? So I added the Lock Maven, which is a hair care solutions. And we had an amazing launch, right? We launched on July 14th in the middle of me being displaced, trying to figure out what's going on and this whole house situation. Anyway, yeah, so I was like, man, I got 3 businesses. I got this hair salon, I have these candles, and I got these hair care products. We're gonna do something. So she said, okay. I said, what happens if I can't do it? She said, you're gonna lose your earnest money. And I just remember being like, calling my pastor and calling some of my praying friends, like, y'all, what needs to happen? And go after it. The interest rate was amazing. It was stupid low, right? 3.25. And my pastor had to encourage me, just really letting me know, one, don't let these people make you feel like they're doing you a favor, because they need your business. Do what you need to do to get into the house. So I immediately flipped my plate and started fasting. Lord, who is gonna bless me? And he said, you. All the dogs are barking. That's what I felt like too, okay? Who is going to bless me? And Lord said, the blessing's gonna come through you. And I'm like, they want $28,000 in 28 days. He said, yeah, you. Athena. I was like, but Lord, I've never made that much money before in such a short period of time. He said, what worked for you before? So all of my products went to buy 2, get 1 free. Everything, including hair appointments. And y'all, 3 or 4 days before I was set to close on my house, I had saved $16,772. $16,777 in my bank account. That's after paying tithe. That's after paying my staff. That's after paying all the bills that I had saved. But okay. So on that Monday, I was supposed to close on a Friday. Monday, I'm like, was supposed to be my baby's birthday. On that Monday, I sat down, paid all the tithe, returned all my tithe, did all these things. And I sat down, I said, now Lord, first of all, let's talk about it. Because I've never saved 17, let alone close to 17,000. God, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. I also want to say we still need a little something. So who do I need to call? And I said, who do I need to call? Or, what, can you load the numbers or something, y'all? The lending company called me, said, hey, we just sent over your pre-paperwork, whatever. And it said cash to close, $16,772. You want to talk about hollering? Oh, you want to talk about hollering? You talking about a shout and a scream? Me. Told up, did I? Yes, I did. I screamed and holler, called my realtor, be like, am I reading this right? And I was. So that was the year I bought my house. And I just want to say, I literally bought this house for this. The house is amazing, but this, I just want to be outside all the time. Y'all, 2021, 2022, 2023, it's a bit blurry. I'm not really sure which happened when, and at one point in time, I know that I started animation school. I wanted to have my advertising be just a little different. So I started animation school. We launched Recalibrate Her. We launched Call to Beauty. The Calm Creative Institute, my online learning center, became a thing. I started doing in-person events, like teaching classes and all these kind of things like that. And I also know that I went through a season of depression. And so one of the lessons, because we got 3 lessons into these 3 years, one of the lessons is to have some sort of system in place. During one of those seasons when I was extremely depressed, what worked for me was having a scheduling system. Everything else, I don't even know how we made it out other than the grace of God. Having certain things in place that are just rotate and go as clockwork will help you maintain when you're not at your best. That's just one of the things. Another amazing thing is always be willing to evolve. Always be willing to evolve and change and learn and be new and expand and reimagine again. That was something that really, I want to say that happened in 2023 when the Lord started to say, imagine again. Because it's important. There's a lot of things that I think were stripped from me during my time of sadness and depression and whatnot. Judah! Let her in your room, please. During that time. And so I just really wasn't in a space of really, I'll be honest with you, I was beefing with God, okay? I had a little my heart was a little bitter towards him. And so I had to soften my heart back up, pray that the Lord would soften my heart towards him and to be able to talk to him about what I was experiencing. So point number 1, point number 10, talk to God. No matter how you feel, no matter what you are experiencing, talk to him. Even if you're mad at him. He can handle your emotions. He's not a man. Like human. He's not a human. He's God our Father. So that's that. I'm trying to think what else happened in 2021, 22, 23. Animation school was epic. I loved it. And then at the end of 2023, the Lord said, you should pause for school. You should probably sit out the semester. And then we went into 2024. 2024 was a good year to me. At the end of 2023, I've always loved to draw. That has been a thing for me. Let me say that again. I've always loved art. As artsy and creative as I am, I never thought that I could draw. I don't know why I thought that. But because I wanted to go to 3D animation school, I figured I didn't have to learn how to draw. That ain't something I had to learn. As I learned and was going through some things, I learned there were some fundamentals that I needed. And so I ended up switching to visual development first so I can figure some stuff out. And I started drawing and started getting into, I've always wanted to, my family colors. Like I have a group of women that can color. So I created a coloring book. Back in the day, I used to dream of having a subscription box. So I created the Calm Kit. So in 2024, I released Hey Girl Hey, an adult coloring book for stress relief. And it's full of beautiful women, all the fun stuff. And I created the Calm Kit. And over 2024, the Calm Kit has evolved and just become more. Before it was like a self-care kit in regards, like they had like t-shirts and all this kind of stuff in it. But what I realized is, like, with the world that we live in, like having a cozy t-shirt isn't enough. We need coping skills. We need real coping skills. So it comes with the coloring book. Because I went to art school for a while, in animation school, there's certain like stuff that I learned about alcohol markers. I learned about color pencils, and I learned about crayons that you can have watercolor paint. And I realized, like, when I talked to other people about it, they were like, girl, that sounds fancy. But in their mind, they would never buy it. So I put that into the Calm Kit, right? So the Calm Kit has like confession cards so that you can speak well of yourself, which are things that I needed. And I got to put my candle in it. One of my candles. This is not, I had to put a smaller candle in it, but we have candles. It comes with the coloring book. And it was when, I want to say 2020, but 2023, 2024 is when I started to see how all that God had given me was coming together under one brand. For a while, it felt very disjointed. Oh, you do hair. Oh, you do candles. Oh, you do hair care products? The hair care product, it was a thing. But I am grateful that I am coming into the full measure of who I'm supposed to be and what my brand is supposed to do in the earth. I understand that calm is not just something you say. It is something that I want for everyone. I want everybody to be well, to be free, and to be calm. I think that's important. So here we are in 2025. I cannot wait for what 2025 is going to have for me as my 10 years. I feel like this is going to be the year of revival. Something exciting is going to happen, and I'm so excited to take you on this journey with me. So this channel will be a beautiful display of everything that you've seen, right? I am going to teach you everything I know about creative entrepreneurship, about the beauty industry, about whatever you want. And I'm also going to show you how I relax. We're going to have calm Sundays where we're going to be coloring and coloring books. We're going to be playing in plants because that's a thing. It's a real thing. We're going to create things together, create memories and all this fun stuff. I cannot wait to take you on this journey with me. So, you know, it's going to be beauty and wellness. It's going to be Bible and business. It's going to be faith and creativity. So until next time, be well, be free, be calm. I love you, mean it. Bye.